Hi there, lovelies. How are you doing? I hope each and every single one of you is well today. My name is Rabbit, and welcome to episode number 32 of Let's Play Through Final Fantasy I via the lens of Final Fantasy Origins. In our previous episode, we made it to the infamous Citadel of Trials, or Citadel of Ordeals, or Castle of Trials, whatever it's called. We are here. We took forever. Last episode, I recognize, was way too flippin' long, but it's because I ran in circles for like 10 minutes. So not my finest dungeon crawling experience, but we did find a couple of goodies. We got a pair of, here they are, gauntlets, which seems like they'll have a bolt to effect. So not only will we eventually be able to equip those on Rohit when he is elevated to a red wizard, but we should be able to use them in combat to continuously generate a bolt to spell. Similarly, we found a staff. Here's Melvin. We found a staff called the healing staff, and if you look at the description at the bottom, it has a heal effect as well. So similarly, we need to actively utilize it in combat as an item in order to get the heal, but it's nice because we can basically heal continuously. Now, it's not always great if you're facing off against enemies that do a whole lot of damage, because the regular heal, it's an AoE that doesn't do a whole lot, so it's okay, not the best, but we will take it. Anyway, we've chugged a whole lot of potions, we're struggling a little bit, but I do believe we are pretty close to the end of this dungeon. So let's continue to look around, open some chests. We got a ruby armlet, very nice, an ice brand, and steel gloves. So let's take a look at all of these and see who could maybe, use them. We've got the ruby armlet, which everyone can use, and it says it's a decorative armlet with a ruby inset. The ice brand, I think we've already got that equipped, I want to say. We'll take a look just to be sure. And then steel gloves, nobody can use. I think that's what Rohit is wearing. Yeah, he's got the ice brand, so this is just an extra one that we'll go ahead and sell. I'm sure it's worth a pretty penny, so we'll want to go ahead and make use of that. Let's see. Oh my gosh. The ruby armlet looks like it's a nice little upgrade, actually. But if I may, because the mithril mail, I think, can only be worn by Rohit. So actually, I might want to go ahead and give this to one of our mages. Well, Rohit does get focused a lot, though. Let me just see, because that would increase evasion, too. Maybe it would be best to put this on him. And then let me see. Does the mithril mail... Can someone else wear this? No, it's just him. So you know what? I actually do think I'm going to give the ruby armlet to somebody else. I think it's just going to be the best approach for right now. Let me put it on to... Tyrone's been getting his butt kicked a little bit. Oh, but it doesn't really... You guys, I'm a little torn. You know what? Whatever. I'm going to give it to Burl. I think my two mages they'll be fine, right? It'll be okay. No need to really sweat it too much. And I guess because Rohit can wear the mail, I really want to be fair to Burl and the others and make sure they have what they need to survive and to thrive. But all right, that should be it for in here. So let's continue southward and see what else is in this dungeon. I had mistakenly reported to you guys in our last episode that, oh, I don't think there are any encounters in this dungeon, and I learned real quick there are encounters in this dungeon. Who would have thought? So I'm trying to take good care of the team. The Shaksasha might be what it's called. I don't remember. They really slow you down and make it a beast to get through those encounters. So I would love to not... Why is the chest open? I don't know what's up with that. But we'll just keep on. We got another cottage to replace the one that we used outside of here, so that's great. 1,455 gil. Excellent. And 7,340 gil. The more the merrier. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but there actually is going to be a point somewhat soon where we are actually going to want to focus a little bit of our efforts on amassing amassing gil. I mean, we could always use more mana. I think that goes without saying, friends. But there is going to be a point where we will want to amass more gil because, as you can imagine, once everyone is upgraded in terms of their class, that is going to open up a world of new spells and abilities for us to tap into. And those will come at a cost. Oh gosh, there is a throne. But let's first open this and we obtained the rat's tail. Yay! That's awesome. Okay, I'll take it. I guess that's all we really needed to worry about. Oh my gosh, or maybe not. What is this? Dragon zombies. Oh no. But I don't think these guys are going to be an issue. We'll throw out a Dia too, because honestly, I'm scheming you guys and wondering if they don't do that much damage and if I can generate repeated fights, I might want to, because this might be a good location for us to get a bit of the gil without me needing to run back through a different area. Hold on. We'll see. I'm not... Oh, gosh. Melvin, why am I not having you use your heal? I don't know what I'm doing. I just keep forgetting because we've gone so long without using items. It's really not that much gil, though, for a fight that's a bit of a pain in the butt. Let's just see if it comes again if I walk in front of this. Yeah, so I guess you could, in theory... Oh, and now there's only one? Maybe... You know what? I might spend a few minutes doing this, because while this is probably not the most lucrative approach, it is guaranteed that every time I step off and then back on, I will get into a fight. And, you know, I get a little under 1,000 gil each time. So 10 of these encounters will get us close to 10,000. And that's if there's just one, you know. So obviously if there are two, it's not the end of the world. And if I can continue to use my healing staff and keep people afloat for a little while, I don't know. I'm tossing it around. Oh, but we do need to look at the rat's tail. So let's finish up this fight. And... we'll read the description for that, and then I might pause and just spend a couple of minutes, maybe listen to 2 or 3 songs on my phone, and we'll see where I get, because I think this is a really good place for me to go ahead and try to focus, because yeah, I guess we get close to 2,000 when there are 2 of them, so it might not really be that big of a deal, but okay. Let's quickly take a look at the new key item that we picked up here in the Citadel of Trials. It is called the Rat's Tail, and it is proof of valor and strength. I'm not sure how, because rats are teeny tiny, and they really aren't that big of a deal to mess with. So don't know why the game would internalize that as a signal of anybody's courage or valor, but we're not going to argue with them. We're just going to happily take the credit for that. So let's go ahead and part ways just briefly. I'm just going to pause the camera. We're not ending the episode here, although granted, our last episode was ridiculously long, so I probably should have this one be a little bit on the shorter side, but give me just a moment, guys. As I've already mentioned, I want to try to build my funds just a wee bit. I'll show you guys exactly. Oh, and there's a level for Burl. So this is a good place for us to cut the camera, actually. 31 HP, some strength, some intelligence, some endurance as well. I'll make sure to tell you guys about any additional changes that take place without you. But let's look at where our gil is at. We've got 345,477 gil to our name. And then as for our status pages, looks like Rohit is not, he's not that far from level 25. We just saw Burl hit level 25. Wrong way. Melvin will be hitting level 25 around the same time as Rohit, and Tyrone will actually be hitting it in a fight or 2. But I'll make sure I bring back up the status pages so you guys can see any of the changes. So once again, here's where everyone's at. If you really care that much, you can pause the camera between this episode and between right now and then where I cut and bring you guys back. I know not everyone cares that much about stat changes, but there are some people that are interested if RNG plays a factor into character growth rates. Some of you just like to see, well, like, what are the ranges? So is it between like 20 HP and 40 HP that your monk might get when they hit level 25? I know some people care a lot about mechanics. I am not one of those people that goes that deep into it, but I still want to cater to those of you who do care a little bit more. So anyway, give me just a second to fight a little bit. There's our Gil. I'll bring you back in just a second. Okie dokie artichokes, I spent a wee bit of time doing some grinding by running back and forth to fight those dragons and occasionally just random enemies when I step off of that tile where the little dragon encounter ensues. But anyway, I did want to show you guys these status pages because everyone gained a level, if not two. So here is where Rohit is sitting now. Here is Burl, and as you can see, he's really not too terribly far from hitting level 27, so he should be getting there pretty soon. Here is Melvin. He is looking fresh and fine. I also will get into one more encounter so you guys can see the strategy that I was kind of going through. It's pretty much a self-sustaining strat, especially having the gauntlets, which can cast the Bolt 2 spell, and having that healing staff, which can cast the little heal effect. So I will just step right back on this platform here, right in front of the throne, so you guys can see kind of how things were going down. So I have the top two do physical DPS, and then let's just say there were two of the dragons, or the dragon zombies, zombie dragons, whatever. I will scroll on down, and Tyrone can actually use the gauntlets, which is an AoE, so it made it really quick and very effective to go ahead and deal with fighting multiple zombie dragons. And that one was a little too easy, so let me step back on again, just so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, but now that you guys are here, the enemies are going to be shy and not want to come out when they really need to. And honestly, it didn't take that long to get here. And again, I didn't need to use any items. I really didn't need to even use any mana charges. I think I used 1 or 2 casts of Dia because when I stepped off the platform, once or twice I got into an encounter with a bunch of those mummies, and I just was not about to be there all day messing with them. So I did have to use spells for that, but when fighting most of these encounters with the zombie dragons, it's been easy peasy lemon squeezy. I've been able to just continuously heal up my team with the healing rod and then cast out the AoEs from the gauntlets, specifically Bolt 2. So it's really nice. It's a good way to, as you can see, get some easy effortless XP, get some easy effortless gil. It does take a little while, but you really don't have to worry about backtracking to heal or replenish anything in order to do it. And you're guaranteed, okay, this is what I was trying to look for, so you can actually see what it looks like in action here with multiple enemies on the screen. So poor Burl, he's taken a little bit of a beating, but it's fine. I've been saving up my actual mana charges for moments like this. But we should be able to get the healing staff off so that he'll get a little bit, just a little bit of HP here. And this will be the last encounter anyway, so we don't need to worry too much about where he's at. And honestly, Burl could die and we'll be just fine. His XP and levels are a little beyond the rest of the team, so if he has to sit a couple of fights out, he's not going to be upset about it. He probably will welcome the rest since he's sort of been dragging my team across the finish line for a little while. So, all right, that is it. That is kind of what I've been doing to keep my team afloat. And aside from Burl, I guess you could argue Tyrone's HP is a little low. No one's really too worse for wear. And yeah, I could stand here and try to get Burl another level, but whatever. I got what I really needed out of this. We are done. Done. So we did get that rat's tail. And now you're probably wondering, Rabbit, what in the heck are we going to do with a rat's tail? That is a great question, but before we worry about that, I'm actually going to sleep in my... I was wondering if I should do the tent. Let's just do the cottage. We're not that broke, you guys. I just spent how long messing around with the dragon zombies? So I think I can go ahead and set aside the... I want to say it's... Oh gosh, I think it's 3,000 for 3,000 gil for one of those cottages, so you know, not really that big of a deal, but it still does have a little bit of an impact. Okay, so we need to run back to the top of this peninsula because that is where, as you can see from the blinking red dot, Friends, that is where my airship is, so I've got to run my happy buns all the way back up, which is why I did decide to go ahead and sleep, so everyone's mana is where it needs to be. Honestly, our HP's okay. Burl will be fine. He's a big boy, and I'll continue to use my healing staff so Melvin can be useful even when he's not actively buffing the team or throwing out any offensive white magic abilities. So we will run back to the... Wow, really, buddy? Think it's going to be a wrap for you. I won't even worry about using the gauntlets on Tyrone. So actually, that is something else I was wanting to note for you guys, that if you did like having your white mage be more offensive, you don't technically have to equip the healing staff onto him. As you could see with Tyrone, any of the items in our inventory are up for grabsies when you're actually in combat and you're wanting to deal a little bit of damage. Oh gosh, but this will be a good opportunity for me to just go ahead, throw out, okay, if I can actually click on those flipping gauntlets, that would be extraordinary, but there we go. We'll see what they do to the worms. I don't remember what these things are weak to, but you know, any damage is welcome damage, so we won't be upset about that. We'll run back, and then we actually do have our sights set on a very specific location where we will be able to make use of the rat's tail. I know, I'm sure a lot of you are like, what in the heck is even going on in this game? It's so all over the place, no direction. It just feels like you're kind of wandering around, meandering from town to town and section to section, just randomly going through this trial and error with items that you're picking up. And to an extent that is true. I kind of shared that at the start of our journey together and the start of this LP, that this Final Fantasy, the first one's kind of an acquired taste, right? Some people are going to love the open-endedness, some people are going to love the lack of direction, and then there are going to be folks that just are not huge fans. I think the game is remarkable in terms of a lot of what it has to offer. You have to consider the limitations of the time and just in general the time period where it came out or when it was released. So when you factor those things in and kind of, you know, transport yourself back to that time, I think it makes it a little bit easier to swallow the pill that is Final Fantasy 1. But I can understand why it's not everyone's cup of tea. Andrew actually has recently been playing a lot of D&D with a group of friends, and he has enjoyed, you know, as I've been editing videos, or sometimes, you know, he'll walk through while I'm recording. He'll walk behind me in the living room, and he's been enjoying just how similar it feels. You know, some of the character names, and by characters I mean like the enemies that you're facing, the way stats kind of are accrued, it's very reminiscent of Dungeons and Dragons, and you know, it's almost like a computerized homage to the tabletop RPG. So that's really cool and really wonderful, and when you look at it from that lens as well, I think it makes it a little more palatable for people that can really, again, transport themselves back to the time of its release. But I do recognize that this is not for everyone. I've had a few people already asking me what I plan to play after this. As you guys know, I am playing Lufia and the Fortress of Doom in rotation with this game. I'm entertaining moving forward, doing one game at a time and not having a rotation. I've historically done it because, you know, this game's a great example where there are people that just don't like the game and they don't want to not be able to watch any of my content for 3 or 4 months while that game's footage is rolling out. So that's why I've kind of gone back and forth and done like 10 episodes of game 1, then 10 episodes of game 2, then back to 10 episodes of game 1, rinse and repeat. I've liked to do that for the sake of providing variety to you guys, but I'm just kind of entertaining, maybe just to try it out for, you know, a 6-month trial run, having one game and not playing a rotation, and us just focusing on knocking out one thing at a time and really just getting through it instead of having 2 games kind of dragging out for a while. But I'm not sure. I'm open to your feedback. I had released a poll regarding this very question and this very issue about a year or 2 ago, and overwhelmingly so, your feedback was that you would prefer me to continue to have games in rotation. But I don't know. I'm thinking even just for me, because especially if I'm playing 2 vastly different games, I have to reacclimate myself to the controls every single time I have the rotation come up. So it ends up being a little bit of a challenge, but not that big of a deal. But I would just like that consistency and that uniformity and being able to just pick up the game where I left off and not needing to remind myself like, oh yeah, we ended at this quest or with this specific thing that I was wanting to do or this topic I was wanting to address. It'll be nice just to be able to keep on going. But all right, we are finally at our little airship here. I'm going to bring up my map yet again, although you guys don't need to worry too terribly much about me needing to pause the camera because we're not going that far away. I just wanted to show you guys where we're at. And if you look to the, I shouldn't say even the lower left, but just look slightly to the lower left-hand side, you'll see these little islands, I guess, with all the little dungeons there. We're going to look at each of those. There's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to hit up all 6 of them, hopefully in a short amount of time, and you guys will see exactly what it is. Oh gosh, if I can land, I'm telling you that ship goes pretty fast, so it's easy to miss where you're trying to go. But all right, here's the first of the 6 that we're going to be visiting. So let's, oh my gosh, monsters, leave me alone. Oh, Manticore. No, let's not be throwing out poison darts because that's not my idea of a good time. But I guess it's theirs because all 3 of them did it, which is super uncool, but I understand. I guess it just gives us more opportunity to throw out what we've got. And again, we got so many levels from me just standing and repeatedly fighting those dragon zombies that I'm not that worried about any of the enemies that we'll be facing on these little tiny islands. And again, we'll be getting some heals off, which is always welcome from the healing staff. Although I would greatly prefer us finding like a heal too, because this is just not cutting it. The little heals, it's just not that great of an AoE, to be honest with you. But even our potions are not that terrific, and I've been kind of complaining about that for a long time. But there's that level for Burl with 12 HP, some strength, intelligence, endurance, and luck. So everyone actually got 2 levels in this episode, which is a little wild, but that's what happens when you hunker down and get her done. Oh gosh, just feels so good to say. Hunker down. I cannot even believe that is a real expression, but I love it nonetheless. Okay, but we are in Dragon's Cave B1. Let's do some exploring. I don't think there are enemies. Oh, okay. Okay, let me start over with that. We've got 2,000 gil. Definitely could use the gold. 1,455 gil and 2,750 gil. And that, come on, Rohit. You've got it, friend. You've got it. We'll head over to this one. Oh! There's a little dragon guy. I wonder what he's up to. But first, we're going to steal everything that's in here. Another 160 gil. We'll grab 9,500 gil, 2,750, and 1,520. He's probably like, what are you doing? Talk to me. Only the truly brave return with proof of their courage. Proof of their courage? By chance, would a rat's tail serve as proof of my courage? Hey, maybe I have to actually show him the rat's tail? Okay, if I can click on the right stuff. Let's just try it and see. Well, are you not the person I need to talk to? Okay, well, he doesn't like it. That's very strange. Well, maybe we need to find something else for this guy. We're not going to worry too much about it. Let's just go to the other islands. Seems like that dragon doesn't know the real deal when he sees it. We, however, know... let me go ahead and use this. We, however, know that we went through a lot to get that rat's tail. We were not just combing through some sewers. We basically had to fight... What is his name? Shredder? Isn't Shredder the rat from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I think it is, but maybe... Or is Shredder the enemy? No, I think Shredder's the rat. Isn't he? Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to say though, I don't know if any of you ever watched the old like live action TMNT movies. I've not watched them in a long time, but yo, I loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in the day. I've not really watched a lot of the IP lately. I don't know if they're still making anything related to it. I know they had like a newer TMNT cartoon on, was it Cartoon Network a few years ago, I think they had like a revamped version of it. But anyway, long ago, dragons and humans lived in peaceful coexistence. So you're not impressed with me? The other guy wasn't either. But I stole all his stuff, so it works out. Okay, well, there's nothing in this cave either. Seems like these dragons are just kind of hiding out, not really wanting a whole lot to do with anybody. So we'll come to this one. Oh, okay. Where can I land? I guess right here? Game. Can I land here? Oh my gosh. Told you guys, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt dealing with the airship because you can't always land right where you think you can. But all right, back into Dragon's Cave. Who are you? Long ago, the northern lands flourished with beautiful temples and immense mechanical castles. That's great. Don't care. Who are you? I want your stuff. And not that stuff. The Cardian dragons are creatures of peace. We do not kill needlessly. Oh, well, that's good. I'm going to steal needlessly, though. Well, it's not totally needless, but thanks for the cottage and 500 gil. Look, I'm saving the 10 gil. We're not even talking about this. How strange, humans in the realm of dragons. If you have the courage, present yourselves before our king, Bahamut. Look, I tried to present my courage to someone else, and they did not care about my rat's tails, so I don't know what else to tell you guys, other than you're sleeping on my might, you're sleeping on my grace. I looked in here already, didn't I? Yes, I did. But we'll see if we can find this other dragon, and maybe we can show him the rat's tail, since it is technically proof of our courage. At least that's what the description says, so we're going to go with that. Okay, we've looked at what? Those 3. So we've got the 2 above us, and then there's one more to the left-hand side. So let's try to land. Oh, that was beautiful. That was a perfect landing, you guys. I don't want to hear a word. Oh, God, not you guys. Not you guys. It's all right. I'm a little obsessed now with spamming my healing staff and my gauntlets, even though it's not necessarily the best way of keeping my team afloat. It's working. I could also switch out Melvin with Rohit in terms of our formation for a little while, just until everyone's HP is a little bit better, because we've kind of seen that they really do focus that top person. All right, we'll see what happens. He might die, but if he does, I'll bring him back. It's okay. I've got the skills to pay the bills, so Melvin will do just fine at healing him up. Actually, heal yourself up. That's what I use the cottage for. We don't need to worry about this. I need to remember when I'm using the cottages to use up all of my mana charges, or at least all of my healing mana charges, because they get replenished when we wake up and kind of set sail again. Okay. While I'm at it, let me just go ahead and heal up Burl. Okie dokie. We've got 3 more of these left to see. We were told that we need to go find a Dragon King and that we need to prove our courage. I tried proving it to the other one, and he was not impressed at all. So we'll see how far that takes us. Oh gosh, where are we going? Oh Lord, this doesn't look good. Tombstones? Where are we? Oh, there are 2 dragons. You are in the presence of Bahamut, the great king of dragons. Oh, okay. Bahamut tests every drop of courage you may have. Well, I got a lot of drops, so Bahamut, are you ready for me? He may or may not be, friends. Let's go? No, let's wait until our upcoming episode of Let's Play through Final Fantasy Origins, specifically Final Fantasy 1 on the PlayStation 1. As we've already kind of seen, a few of these dragons have alluded to the fact that we need to sort of prove our courage, and we've got an item that says it is proof of valor and strength. It doesn't specify courage, but it remains to be seen if this will kind of count for that. Who knows? But we are in the presence of the almighty King Bahamut. Let's see what he has to say when we return in episode number 33. So take care, be good, and I will see you guys there. Thank you so very much for watching.